In the vast tapestry of ancient Greek mythology, a dazzling array of awe-inspiring beings captured the imaginations of mortals and gods alike. Among these mythical beings, the demigods stand as a remarkable testament to the extraordinary union between mortal humans and divine deities. Born from the sacred lineage of gods coupling with humans, these half-god, half-human heroes embodied the very essence of adventure, bravery, and resilience. Unlike their mighty counterparts, the Olympian gods, the demigods walked the terrain of earth, bridging the divide between the mortal realm and the celestial heavens. Their heritage, rooted in the divine, endowed them with exceptional physical and intellectual abilities, surpassing those of mere mortals. Yet, these demigods were bound by the limitations that came with their human blood, experiencing the trials and tribulations of human existence, including heartbreaks, pain, and the insecurities of their mortal counterparts. Every demigod possessed a unique heritage that intertwined the mortal world with that of the gods. The strong and valiant Heracles, son of Zeus and the mortal Alcmene, emerged as the epitome of strength, undertaking the legendary 12 labors to cleanse himself of a heinous crime committed in his mortal life. Known for his unmatched courage, Heracles grappled with his unruly nature, striving to find redemption and honor in the face of his divinity's burdens. Prince Theseus, son of either Poseidon, the god of the sea, or Aegeus, the esteemed king of Athens, and the mortal Aethra, embodied intellect and fortitude. Raised away from his father's kingdom, Theseus ultimately returned to claim his birthright and became an exceptional leader. He navigated the treacherous labyrinth and encountered the fearsome Minotaur, demonstrating the triumph of human intelligence over inhuman savagery. Yet not all tales of demigods were marked by heroism and greatness. Heralding from a lineage entwined with tragedy, Perseus, son of Zeus and the human princess Danae, embarked on a perilous journey to slay the monstrous Gorgon Medusa. Guided by the winged sandals of Hermes, the shimmering helmet of Hades, and the mirrored shield of Athena, Perseus battled his inner demons, ultimately emerging triumphant through wit, cunning, and a touch of divine intervention. Beyond these well-known figures, countless other demigods roamed the ancient land, each displayed an indomitable spirit, honed abilities beyond human comprehension, and embraced their dual nature with varying degrees of success, honoring their godly lineage with breathtaking exploits and grandiose acts of heroism. Yet it is important to remember that these demigods were far from perfect, wrestling with their dual identities, societal expectations, and the universal struggle of navigating their place in the world. They remind us that even those touched by the divine are bound to the human experience, facing trials, triumphs, and personal growth in their quest to become legends in their own right. So, let us embark on a journey through the hidden realms of Greek mythology, delving deep into the captivating stories of these demigod heroes, who defied the laws of nature and challenged the boundaries of mortality. Their extraordinary tales not only entertain, but also inspire us, revealing the essence of what it means to be human, and yet something more. Once upon a time in the great realm of Mount Olympus, the mighty Zeus, the king of gods, became infatuated with a mortal woman named Alcmene. In his pursuit of her, Zeus disguised himself as her husband Amphitryon, and spent the night with her. Unbeknownst to Alcmene, when the true Amphitryon returned, he too spent the night with his wife. As a result, Alcmene became pregnant with twins, one of whom was destined to be the hero known as Heracles. From the moment of his birth, it was evident that Heracles was unlike any other mortal. Strong and robust, he possessed a fearless demeanor that captured the attention of both gods and mortals alike. Zeus felt immense pride in his son and bestowed upon him godlike powers and abilities. However, unknown to Zeus, his vengeful and jealous wife Hera harbored deep resentment against the child born of her husband's infidelity. As Heracles grew, he displayed incredible strength and unrivaled courage. His power connected him deeply to the ancient gods, allowing him to converse with mythical creatures and commune with nature. He walked among mortals and was greatly loved by all, for his kind heart and sense of justice. Yet, Hera's hatred for Heracles continued to burn in her heart. She devised a plan to bring destruction to his life and ensure he endured endless suffering. Hera drove Heracles mad, causing him to commit a terrible crime. In a fit of delirium, he unknowingly killed his own wife and children. Upon awakening from his madness and realizing the gravity of his actions, Heracles was overwhelmed with grief and guilt that consumed him entirely. Desperate to atone for his sins, he sought the guidance of the Oracle of Delphi, who told him that he must perform 12 seemingly impossible tasks called the 12 labors. These labors would test his strength, wit, and valor, pushing Heracles to the limits of his endurance. From slaying the fearsome 9-headed Hydra, to capturing the man-eating mares of Diomedes, he journeyed through treacherous lands and faced countless dangers. Each task seemed insurmountable, but fueled by his remorse and an unyielding determination, Heracles triumphed over every challenge presented to him. Throughout his trials, Heracles encountered beings that tested his character, such as the wise centaur Chiron, who became his mentor, teaching him the true meaning of heroism and redemption. It was through Chiron's guidance that he learned to control his raw strength and channel it for good. Finally, after completing all 12 labors, Heracles emerged victorious, a true hero in the eyes of all. The gods, impressed by his indomitable spirit, granted him the ultimate reward, immortality. Heracles became a deity, joining his father Zeus and the other gods on Mount Olympus, where he found solace in the eternal company of his newfound family. In the realm of legends, Heracles' story lives on, inspiring generations to come. A tale of tragedy, redemption, and ultimate triumph, the epic saga of Heracles serves as a testament to the boundless power of the human spirit and the enduring nature of heroism. In the ancient city of Athens, nestled amidst the lush lands of Greece, lived Theseus, a young man of great courage, noble lineage, and an indomitable spirit. Born to either Poseidon, the mighty god of the sea, or Aegeus, the esteemed king of Athens, and the mortal queen Aethra, Theseus had an extraordinary destiny awaiting him. However, during his childhood, Theseus was raised far from his rightful home, Athens. His mother, Aethra, sought to protect him from the turmoil that plagued the city. Instead, she sent him to live in the small village of Troezen, under the watchful care of his wizened grandfather, King Pittheus. Under the tutelage of his wise grandfather, Theseus grew up to embody the values of honor, strength, and compassion. He trained diligently in combat, honing his skills with the hope of one day returning to Athens and reclaiming his birthright as the true heir to the throne. As the years passed, rumors of a dreadful fate haunted the people of Athens. Every 9 years, they were bound by law to send 7 courageous boys and 7 virtuous girls to the fearsome King Minos of Crete, as a horrific tribute and sacrifice to the bloodthirsty Minotaur, a monstrous creature, half man and half bull, residing within the treacherous labyrinth. Filled with righteous indignation and unwavering determination, Theseus decided it was time to put an end to this torment that plagued his people. He embarked on a treacherous journey to Crete, donning his gleaming armor and clutching his trusty gleaming sword. The voyage across the fierce Aegean Sea was riddled with peril, but Theseus, guided by an unyielding spirit, reached the shores of Crete unscathed. As he set foot on the island, he witnessed a land consumed by fear and despair, its inhabitants slaves to the savage rule of the Minotaur. Theseus resolved to face the beast head-on and free his people from the clutches of terror. He stealthily made his way towards the labyrinth, a maze so complex and bewildering that none who entered had ever returned. Unbeknownst to Theseus, his audacity had captured the attention of Ariadne, the beautiful daughter of King Minos. In an act of unforeseen kindness, Ariadne approached Theseus and presented him with a slender thread, an invaluable lifeline that could guide him through the intricate labyrinth and back to safety. Grateful for her aid, Theseus accepted the gift, knowing that he owed her a debt of gratitude. Armed with his courage and the thread, Theseus descended into the dark abyss of the labyrinth. As he traversed its intricate corridors, filled with twists, turns, and chilling echoes, the echoes of his own bravery resonated within him, bolstering his resolve to slay the Minotaur. The air grew thick with tension as he approached the heart of the labyrinth, where the dreadful beast awaited. Theseus drew his gleaming sword and prepared for the imminent encounter. The clash between man and monster was a sight that would forever echo throughout history. With every swing of his blade, Theseus fought valiantly, matching the ferocious might of the Minotaur blow for blow. Blood spilled upon the cold, stone floor, as the battle raged on with an intensity that shook the foundations of the once impenetrable labyrinth. In a display of valor and sheer determination, Theseus struck a fatal blow, piercing the heart of the Minotaur. The monstrous creature let out a roar of agony that reverberated through the labyrinth, and the fateful battle came to an end. Buoyed by victory and guided by the radiant thread, Theseus retraced his steps through the labyrinth, his heart thrumming with anticipation of the freedom he was about to claim for his people. As he emerged into the blinding sunlight, he was met with a mixture of awe and relief from his fellow Athenians. Yet, as Theseus was about to return to Athens a hero, his mind was burdened with thoughts of the kind-hearted Ariadne, who had aided him in his darkest hour. He resolved to seek her out and offer her a chance at freedom, away from the clutches of her tyrannical father and the devastating grip of despair that had plagued her life. After embarking on a treacherous journey together, fueled by his desire to protect Ariadne from a life of oppression, Theseus made the heart-wrenching decision to abandon her on the enchanting island of Naxos. The reasons for this act remain shrouded in mystery, yet it is said that conflicting pressures or unforeseen circumstances compelled him to leave Ariadne behind, shattering her hopes and dreams. Although this conclusion may seem disheartening, it marks the beginning of a new chapter for Theseus. Upon his victorious return home, Theseus, the dauntless hero, who dared to challenge destiny and emerge triumphant over the formidable Minotaur, was celebrated as a savior by the grateful people of Athens. Overflowing with appreciation and awe, their hearts were captivated by this fearless youth who had bravely ended their plight. Little did Theseus know, his journey was far from over, as he would soon embark on new adventures and undertake further acts of heroism that would ensure his name would forever be enshrined in the annals of Greek mythology. Through his tale of valiance, he would be immortalized, forever remembered for his courage and unwavering commitment to love and sacrifice. In the ancient land of Argos, a kingdom nestled between towering mountains and sparkling seas, there lived a fearsome and mighty king named Achilles. Known for ruling with an iron fist, he was a formidable force to be reckoned with. Yet, despite his power, there was a burden that weighed heavily upon his heart, a prophecy that foretold his own demise at the hands of his own flesh and blood. Desperate to prevent this unfortunate fate from coming true, King Achilles sought the counsel of the Oracle of Delphi, a vessel of divine prophecy located high atop Mount Parnassus. There, he heard the chilling words of the gods, revealing that his own grandson, conceived by his daughter Danae, would eventually grow to be the instrument of his downfall. Determined to defy destiny, Achilles devised a plan that would forever alter the lives of Danae and her unborn child. Crafting a subterranean fortress from gleaming bronze, the king imprisoned his beloved daughter within its impenetrable walls, shielding her from the touch of any man. Bound by his fear of the prophecy, Achilles sought to ensure that his grandson would never come into existence. Little did he know, however, that the whims of fate and the intervention of the gods would soon turn his world upside down. In the realm of the gods, Zeus, the majestic ruler of Olympus and father of gods and men, cast his omniscient gaze upon Danae, and was immediately captivated by her ethereal beauty. Unable to resist the pull of love, he descended from his divine abode, and, in a show of transcendence, transformed himself into a golden shower. Seamlessly slipping through the cracks of the impenetrable fortress, he rained upon Princess Danae. It was from this divine union that a child was conceived and born, a son destined for greatness. Danae named him Perseus, recognizing that he was a gift from the gods themselves. When the cries of the newborn reached the ears of King Achilles, he stumbled upon his daughter's deceitful secret, and was overcome with a primal fear of his own inevitable demise. Thoughts of infanticide plagued his mind, but the omnipotent wrath of Zeus held him back. Driven by paranoia and consumed by fear, Achilles contemplated a plan that would rid him of his daughter and grandson without incurring divine retribution. Procuring a wooden chest, he crafted a watery tomb meant for the unsuspecting mother and child and cast them adrift upon the tempestuous sea. Swallowed by the wild waves, they became mere specks upon a vast canvas of azure uncertainty. As the chest danced perilously upon the tumultuous waters, an eye of divine benevolence watched from above. Zeus, the father of Perseus, had not forsaken his progeny. Turning to his brother Poseidon, the ruler of the seas, he beseeched him to calm the raging waters that threatened Danae and her newborn son. Obliging his sibling's request, Poseidon coaxed the wild currents into stillness, guiding the chest towards the sanctuary of the tranquil island of Seriphus. Miraculously, after days of uncertainty and unimaginable peril, the chest finally washed ashore on Seriphus, a place bathed in serenity. Deities, a humble fisherman and the brother of the island's ruler, stumbled upon the stranded mother and child, bringing them into his humble abode. Filled with compassion and kindness, Deities offered them shelter and protection from the storms of their tumultuous past. Under the nurturing care of Deities, Perseus thrived and grew into a strong and resilient young man, just as sturdy and unyielding as the rocks upon which he had been cast upon. His heart was marked by a deep well of compassion, and his spirit burned with a tenacious determination. Fate, however, had other plans in store for him, for on the island of Seriphus, there lived a villainous king named Polydectes, who ruled with an insidious desire for power and control. Upon laying his desirous gaze upon the still beautiful Danae, he became consumed by the idea of claiming her as his own. Yet, standing as a sentinel between him and his sinister ambitions stood Perseus, a barrier that needed to be overcome. With a cunning mind, Polydectes devised a malicious plan to eliminate Perseus and remove him from the path that led to Danae's heart. Polydectes demanded that Perseus embark on a seemingly impossible and perilous quest to slay Medusa, the formidable Gorgon. Medusa's head was wreathed in serpents, and her gaze could turn any mere mortal to stone. Surely, Polydectes believed, such a dangerous mission would claim the life of the valiant Perseus. Unbeknownst to Polydectes, the gods had been observing Perseus intently. In recognition of his unwavering spirit, Hermes, the swift messenger of the gods, bestowed upon Perseus a curved and gleaming sword, an emblem of divine might. Athena, the goddess of wisdom, offered him a mirrored shield and the cap of Hades, which could render its wearer invisible. Armed with these divine tools, Perseus set off on his treacherous journey to the cave where the monstrous Medusa resided. Guided by the winged sandals Hermes had bestowed upon him, Perseus soared above land and sea until he arrived at the dark and forbidding lair of Medusa. Cloaked in the cap of Hades, he remained unseen by the beast, and with the aid of the mirrored shield, he caught glimpses of her reflection without directly looking at her face, which would surely turn him to stone. With swift precision and the strength of a demigod, Perseus wielded the sword of Hermes and severed Medusa's monstrous head from her body. Miraculously, her petrifying gaze was no more, and her venomous snakes writhed helplessly without their master. Perseus carefully collected the severed head, treading lightly to avoid any lingering dangers, and placed it within a hidden pouch. Emerging triumphantly from the fearsome cave, Perseus made his way back to the island of Seriphus, all the while being guided by the approving smiles of the gods, their golden light illuminating his path. Returning to his newfound home, Perseus stepped forth to face Polydectes, revealing the severed head of Medusa as a testament to his unyielding bravery. As the wicked king gazed upon the petrifying countenance of the Gorgon, he too was transformed into stone, forever cemented by his own malice and deceit. Peace returned to the island of Seriphus, and Danae, forever grateful for the protection of the gods and the unwavering bravery of her son, watched as Perseus ascended to heights unimaginable. As the years went by, Perseus's mother had a strong desire to return to her hometown, Argos. They embarked on a journey back to the city, and upon arrival, Perseus noticed a sporting event taking place. Intrigued, he decided to participate. Unbeknownst to him, his own grandfather Achilles was among the spectators. In the midst of the thrilling games, fate intervened, leading Perseus to unintentionally throw the discus in the wrong direction. Tragically, the discus struck Achilles, resulting in his immediate death and fulfilling the prophecy that Perseus would be the cause of his downfall. Perseus was hailed as a hero, not only for slaying the Gorgon and fulfilling the prophecy, but also for saving his beloved mother Danae from the clutches of Polydectes. With honor and valor, he ascended to the throne of Argos, ruling over the people with wisdom and compassion. His name and deeds became forever etched in the annals of mythology, reminding all of the boundless strength of the human spirit and the transformative power of the gods. The tale of Perseus, the son of Zeus and the mortal Danae, would be passed down through generations, inspiring hope and resilience in the hearts of mortals for years to come. In the land of ancient Greece, there was a young man named Orpheus, born with a soulful voice that could charm even the wildest beasts and move the very rocks to tears. His father, the radiant Apollo, bestowed upon him the gift of music, while his mother, the muse Calliope, gave him a heart brimming with passion and creativity. From a tender age, Orpheus would wander through the sunlit meadows, strumming his lyre, and filling the air with melodies so captivating that the nymphs would gather around him, their eyes aglow with wonder. But amidst all the adoration, Orpheus longed for something more profound. One day, fate intervened as he laid his eyes on the enchanting Eurydice, the most beautiful woman in all of Thessaly. Her eyes sparkled like moonlit oceans, and her voice sang like the whispering breeze through a forest. Love found its way into Orpheus's heart, and he swore to the gods that he would cherish her for all eternity. They soon became inseparable, their love blossoming within the embrace of nature's splendor. Birds would serenade them with sweet harmonies, and flowers would bloom in vibrant hues whenever they passed. But life, with its capricious demeanor, had a different path penned for them. One fateful day, as Eurydice danced in a sun-dappled glade, a venomous serpent slithered from the shadows and struck her delicate ankle. Her spirit faded like a fleeting dream, leaving Orpheus's heart shattered into a million shards of grief. In his despair, Orpheus made a daring decision. He would journey into the depths of the underworld, the realm of Hades and Persephone, to beseech them to release his beloved Eurydice back into the realm of the living. Armed with his lyre, Orpheus embarked on a treacherous quest. Along the winding path to the underworld, he encountered harrowing obstacles and encountered fearsome creatures. He faced the wrath of the fiery river Phlegethon, and the icy grip of Cocytus, the river of lamentation. The very earth trembled with fear at his presence, for his music held the power to tame the untamable. At last, he approached the throne of Hades and Persephone, whose hearts softened at the sight of his grief-stricken countenance. Orpheus sang with aching fervor, pouring his love and sorrow into every note, moving the dead souls of the underworld to weep for his loss. In the end, Hades relented, his heart touched by Orpheus's undying devotion. However, he warned Orpheus that there would be one condition. As they ascended back to the realm of the living, Orpheus must not look back until they had reached the surface, or his beloved Eurydice would be lost to him forever. With hope shining bright in his glistening eyes, Orpheus held Eurydice's trembling hand and began their journey back. But as love would have it, doubt burrowed deep within his tormented soul. He doubted if the gods truly held mercy in their hearts. Unable to resist any longer, he turned his gaze back, desperate to ensure his love was still there. In that heartbreaking instant, Eurydice, snatched away once more by the darkness of the underworld, vanished from his sight forever. A heart-wrenching cry escaped Orpheus's lips as he fell to his knees, his music silenced, and the world plunged into despair. The beauty of the world seemed dull and lifeless, for nothing could compare to the loss he felt. Orpheus, a shell of his former self, wandered aimlessly through the wilderness, his tear-filled eyes unable to see the colors that once brought him joy. As he strummed his lyre, the notes resonated with devastating sorrow, echoing throughout the heavens and earth, leaving all who heard it weeping. It is said the gods, moved by his ceaseless anguish, decided to spare him from a life void of love. In their divine benevolence, they granted Orpheus peace in the embrace of death, reuniting him forever with his beloved Eurydice. And so, the tale of Orpheus, the son of Apollo and Calliope, resonates through the ages, a reminder that in love's pursuit, even the gods cannot escape the clutches of grief. His melodies, forever etched in the fabric of history, continue to stir souls and provoke the deepest of emotions, for no other love shall compare to that of Orpheus and Eurydice. Once upon a time, nestled deep within the vastness of ancient Greek mythology, there was a demigod named Orion, whose tale was as captivating as the starry sky itself. Born to the immortal sea god Poseidon, and the enchanting nymph Euryale, Orion possessed extraordinary strength and height, towering over ordinary mortals with his impressive stature. From his earliest days, Orion was endowed with a gift from his divine ancestry, a profound affinity for the hunt. Guided by Artemis, the goddess of the hunt herself, Orion became a masterful huntsman, capable of outwitting any creature that dared cross his path. His prowess earned him a treasured place as one of Artemis's most favored companions. Together, they roamed the vast forests, the mountains, and the untamed wilderness, forming an unbreakable bond. However, as is so often the case in the realm of legends, jealousy and envy can turn friend into foe. One day, Orion unintentionally provoked the wrath of Gaia, the earth goddess, by boasting of his invincibility as a hunter. In her anger, Gaia sent a formidable scorpion to do her bidding. This monstrous creature emerged from the depths of the earth, its venomous stinger poised to strike. Caught off guard, Orion soon found himself locked in a fierce battle with the mighty scorpion. The duel between the hunter and the venomous beast was legendary, the earth trembling as their titanic struggle unfolded. Yet, despite all his strength and skill, Orion found himself on the brink of defeat. The scorpion's poison stinger, aimed at its target, pierced Orion's flesh, injecting its deadly venom into his veins. As the venom coursed through Orion's body, he felt his strength wane, his legs faltering beneath him. Crushed by the inevitability of his own mortality, he realized his life's flame was about to be extinguished. Orion fell to the ground, his body weakened, but his spirit still aflame. As he took his final breath, news of Orion's passing spread like wildfire throughout the divine realms, and even the gods mourned the loss of their valiant companion. In a gesture of reverence and everlasting remembrance, Zeus, the king of gods, transformed the fallen hunter into a constellation. With meticulous care, Zeus hurled Orion's lifeless body into the heavens, where it took its place among the stars. There, for all eternity, Orion's awe-inspiring figure can be seen, etched in the vast expanse of the night sky. As a constellation, he stands tall with his mighty bow at the ready, bearing a celestial belt and holding a shield, forever keeping watch over the cosmos. And beside him, the monstrous scorpion, conquered but not forgotten, became the constellation Scorpius, a reminder of the fallen hunter's eternal struggle. Thus, the tale of Orion, the glorious demigod whose life burned bright like a million stars, lives on. Every night, his celestial form shines across the heavens, a beacon of courage and determination for all who gaze upon it, reminding us that even in the face of mortality, legends remain immortal. In the ancient land of Greece, amidst the era of mighty heroes and epic battles, there lived a demigod named Achilles. Born of the mortal king Peleus and the sea goddess Thetis, Achilles possessed unparalleled strength and extraordinary courage, making him the embodiment of bravery and heroism. Legend has it that when Achilles was just an infant, his mother Thetis, desiring to grant him immortality, dipped him in the sacred river Styx. As the blessed waters embraced his delicate body, they imbued him with invincibility, rendering him nearly invulnerable. However, Thetis, fearing that immortality would lead to his demise, held him by his heel, which remained untouched by the divine waters. As Achilles grew older, his sheer force and unbeatable might became evident to all. His body was sculpted with the physique of a god, his every movement exuding grace and power, but it was his fiery spirit and unyielding determination that truly set him apart. Achilles' impact on the world came to be defined by the Trojan War, a colossal conflict that erupted between the Greeks and the Trojans. Menelaus of Sparta, husband to the fair Helen, had his honor at stake when Paris, a Trojan prince, abducted her and incited a war of unmatched ferocity. Achilles, driven by his thirst for glory and by the prophecy of his own fate, eagerly joined the Greek forces. In battle, Achilles was a sight to behold. Like a rampaging storm, his sword, adorned with intricate engravings of mythical creatures, carved through the enemy ranks with ease. His impenetrable armor glinted under the sun as he advanced fearlessly, inspiring his fellow warriors to fight with unmatched vigor. But his greatest weapon was his unbridled fury, ignited by the injustices inflicted upon his fellow Greeks. However, among the spoils of war, Achilles also had a deep connection with his forbidden love Briseis. She was the captured princess of a neighboring city, brought to him as a slave. Despite their unusual circumstances, a profound affection bloomed between them, thawing the icy warrior's heart and humanizing him behind his formidable facade. As the war raged on, it was the Trojan prince Hector, a man of great courage and integrity, who emerged as Achilles' most formidable adversary. Their fateful encounter on the blood-soaked plains of Troy burned into the annals of history. With all-consuming rage, Achilles dealt a mighty blow to Hector, whose indomitable spirit matched his own. The clash of their weapons reverberated through the battlefield, their every breath a testament to the strength of their spirits. In the end, it was Achilles who stood triumphant, having avenged the fallen Greeks and fulfilling his destiny as a warrior. Yet, his victory came at a tremendous cost. As Achilles revealed in his triumph, he unknowingly defied fate itself. His enemies, whispering of his near invincibility, guided an arrow, meticulously aimed by Paris, to his one vulnerability, his heel. Sorrow echoed through the Greek camp as the mighty demigod, who had defied gods and inspired awe, finally met his demise. The loss of Achilles sent shockwaves throughout the land, as his name etched itself into the very spirit of Greece, forever remembered as the unmatched warrior of the ancient world. So, let Achilles' story be a reminder, a tale of splendor and tragedy, of love and loss, recounting the life of a man who traversed both immortality and mortality, in his pursuit of glory. In the eternal tapestry of Greek mythology, the name Achilles shall forever ignite passion in the hearts of those who hear his epic tale. Once upon a time, in the realm of Olympus, the mightiest of all gods, Zeus, beheld the breathtaking beauty of a mortal woman known as Leda. Enthralled by her radiance, Zeus, the wielder of thunderbolts, determined to make her his own. Taking the form of a swan, he descended from the heavens, gracefully gliding on the moonlit surface of a tranquil lake. As Leda strolled along the water's edge, her honey-golden hair cascading like a waterfall, she marveled at the sight of the majestic swan. Transfixed by its ethereal presence, she felt an enchanting connection with the divine creature. In a fleeting moment, Zeus seized the opportunity and unveiled his true form, embracing the mesmerized mortal with all the power and passion of a god. Some time later, Helen of Sparta, the daughter of Zeus and Leda, was born into the mortal world, bearing within her the extraordinary heritage of the heavens. From infancy, it was evident that Helen possessed an unparalleled lure, an enchantment that held all who beheld her captive. Her luminous features seemed to capture the very essence of a golden sunrise, mesmerizing proud mortals and gods alike. As Helen grew, her unrevealed beauty flourished like a rare rose in the heart of a mythical garden. Her eyes sparkled like the starlit nights, reflecting the mysteries of the cosmos. Her voice sang with the sweet melody of a siren, enchanting all who dared to listen. Every step she took was imbued with grace and elegance, echoing the movement of the graceful swan that had brought her into existence. The fame of Helen's beauty spread like wildfire across the lands of Greece, reaching even the farthest corners of the realm. Word of her resplendent charm reached the ears of countless suitors, the bravest and mightiest men of the age, who were blinded by desire and consumed by the longing to claim Helen's hand in marriage. Suitors journeyed from cities near and far, traversing treacherous seas and perilous mountains, all in their quest to win the heart of the fair Helen. In the court of King Tyndareus, Helen's mortal father, heroes and warriors gathered like a constellation of mighty stars, each seeking glory through her gaze. Among them stood Menelaus, the valiant king of Mycenae and brother of Agamemnon, whose noble stature and regal bearing matched the perfection of Helen's form. His devotion to her was boundless, and his love for her surpassed all other desires. It was not long before he succeeded in claiming Helen as his queen, their union an alliance that united two kingdoms, filling the hearts of their subjects with joy. However, this tale of beauty and love would soon take a devastating turn, casting its shadow over the land of Greece. In a cruel twist of fate, the Trojan prince Paris, son of King Priam, was tasked by the gods to choose among the goddesses Aphrodite, Athena, and Hera, who had promised him the most glorious of rewards in exchange for his favor. Captivated by Helen's legendary beauty, Paris chose Aphrodite, bestowing upon him the love of the fairest woman alive. Driven by this newfound love, Paris sailed across the Aegean Sea to the shores of Sparta, determined to claim Helen as his own. Under a picturesque sun setting over a tumultuous sea, Paris and Helen made their escape, leaving an anguished Menelaus behind, inconsolable in his loss. The echoes of the abduction reverberated through the vast halls of Greece, igniting a fierce conflict that would soon engulf the entire realm. The Trojan War, an elemental battle between honor and passion, honor and vengeance, honor and desire, began with the spirited men of Greece vying for the salvation and return of their radiant queen. For 10 long years, heroes clashed like titans on the battlefields of Troy, their blazing swords painting the skies with iridescent streaks of crimson and silver. Great armies waged war, driven both by the longing for Helen and the thirst for conquest. Among them, Achilles, the mightiest of all Greek warriors, fought with the wrath of a god, seeking revenge for the stolen beauty that had once graced his comrade's palace. The weight of Helen's beauty and the tragedy following in its wake cast a somber shade over the realm of Olympus, as Zeus himself bore witness to the calamity that unfolded. While he could not undo the course of destiny, Zeus wept in silence, understanding that even a god's actions could have unforeseen and catastrophic consequences. Finally, after a decade of bloodshed and sacrifice, the walls of Troy crumbled under the relentless onslaught of the Greeks. The great wooden horse, and symbol of craftiness and deception, stood at the heart of their victory. Helen was eventually reunited with her husband Menelaus, though her return was not without bitterness and sorrow. For despite the ravages of war, the tale of Helen of Sparta lived on, forever etched in the annals of Greek myth and legend. Through her beauty, she triggered an epic war that forever shaped the fate of heroes and gods alike. She embodied both the strength and fragility of mortal existence, a symbol of the temptations and consequences that can arise from encounters with the divine. In the end, Helen served as a reminder that even the most radiant and divine beauty can give birth to unruly chaos and the destructive forces of human ambition. And so, her name became synonymous with everlasting allure and the wisdom to heed the warnings of gods, lest one be consumed by the flames of their desires. In the realm of ancient Greece, amidst the tales of gods and heroes, resides the story of Hippolyta, the valiant and fierce daughter of Ares, the god of war, and Otrora, the queen of the Amazones. Hippolyta grew up surrounded by strength and valor, and inherited her father's fearless spirit and her mother's wisdom, making her a formidable force to be reckoned with. Hippolyta, blessed with beauty as enchanting as the moon's glow, possessed a spirit that outshone even the greatest of warriors. She commanded an army of skilled, Amazonian warriors, known for their strength and prowess in battle. Adorned in armor crafted from the finest bronze, proudly displaying the markings of her lineage, she was revered among her people as a true queen, their embodiment of courage and honor. The time arrived when the mighty Heracles, renowned for his incomparable strength and infamous labors, to embark on his 9th great task as commanded by King Eurystheus. The king, influenced by the wrath-filled Hera, demanded Heracles to retrieve the girdle of Hippolyta, a precious gift from the gods. It was said that this sacred girdle, woven with golden threads blessed by Ares himself, bestowed upon its wearer a strength that surpassed mortal limits. Heracles, fueled by the indomitable fire of ambition, embarked on a treacherous journey towards the land of the Amazones in search of Hippolyta and her coveted girdle. As he approached the Amazonian domain, he marveled at the sight of countless female warriors, their banners fluttering in the wind, and their battle cries echoing across the land. Word of Heracles' arrival spread swiftly, reaching Hippolyta's vigilant ears. She saw his quest as an opportunity to test her own might against the legendary hero. And so, with her head held high and an air of regal authority, she led her Amazones to meet Heracles with both wariness and curiosity. A grand arena was prepared under the watchful gaze of Mount Olympus, where the gods themselves looked down upon the upcoming battle. The clash of two powerhouses, two legends, loomed in the air, kindling the spirit of anticipation among mortals and immortals alike. In his characteristic manner, Heracles approached Hippolyta with an air of charm draped in the weight of his aspirations. With honeyed words and deceptive promises, he sought to win the girdle through diplomacy, knowing all too well the destructive forces he could unleash. Deceptive as his intentions were, his voice carried an air of sincerity, resonating within the walls of Hippolyta's heart. And thus, negotiations ensued, each word veiled between a delicate balance of manipulation and hope. Witnessed by the gods high above, Hippolyta, governed by her noble heart and desire to avoid needless bloodshed, agreed to grant Heracles the girdle as a symbolic gesture of their sacred bond, a gesture of unity among warriors of parallel destinies. But alas, it is said that the jealousy-fueled Hera, ever hateful towards Heracles for being the ill-fated offspring of Zeus, could not bear the thought of his success. It was she who cast her bitter influence upon the Amazones, sowing seeds of doubt and mistrust in their hearts. Thus, in the dark cloak of the night, and aided by the schemes of the deceitful gods, chaos descended upon the Amazonian camp. Betrayed by their own fears, the Amazones, led astray by lies, attacked Heracles and his companions. Arrows whizzed through the air, swords clashed in a cacophony of brutal symphony, and the earth trembled beneath the weight of their anger. Hippolyta, grieved at the chaos consuming her people, fought fiercely to regain control. Brandishing her golden god-forged spear, she forged a path through the chaos, felling her own misguided sisters with a heavy heart. But no matter how valiant her efforts, the Pandora's box of betrayal and manipulation had been opened, and the shadows of destruction obscured the once glorious realm of the Amazones. And in the midst of the chaos, as dawn broke upon the battlefield, Hera's venomous influence whispered into the ears of Heracles, twisting his mind and heart. In a moment of clouded judgment, he turned his wrath upon the once honored Hippolyta, his mighty blows falling upon her with the weight of 1,000 fallen stars. The light of life slowly waned from Hippolyta's eyes, her spirit embracing the eternal darkness. As the goddess of dawn brushed away the night's remnants, the battlefield where Hippolyta once stood alongside her Amazonian sisters fell silent, forever marked by the bittersweet symphony of betrayal and lamentation. Heracles, drenched in the bitter truth of his actions, knelt beside the fallen queen, his heart heavy with remorse. In her final moments, Hippolyta held his gaze, a gaze both sorrowful and forgiving, like a moonlit lily, and as her breath faded away, carried by the gentle wind, the heavens themselves whispered her name, forever etching it into the tapestry of timeless legends. Thus, the story of Hippolyta, the daughter of Ares and Otrora, the queen of the Amazones, echoes through the annals of Greek mythology, combining elements of valor, betrayal, and the ever-watchful presence of the gods. Her death, a tragedy marred by deception and symbols of shattered unity, stands as a testament to the fragile nature of mortal destinies, that even the mightiest can be swayed by deceit and manipulation.